Welcome to the Sk8LikeYou podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Mark, Sk8LikeYou podcast, Sk8LikeYou.com. I am here at Neville Roller Drome with Jim Park, owner and operator. Thanks for being on, Jim.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and welcome to our family. Well, welcome back. You've been here a couple of times.
Yeah, man.
Hi, everybody.
We're actually in the skate shop, pro shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Front hallways right behind us.
Yeah, they're literally, like, this session just started. You're going to see people coming in, paying admission, getting their skates checked before they head out to the floor. I'd be amazed if you're watching this and you haven't been to Neville.
Let's hope.
So,
let's hope.
Jim, let's speak about the Roller Drome itself. How long has this place been a rink? Not since you've owned it, but how long has this place operated as a skating rink?
The Drome family opened it. They built the building, had the floor installed. The floor was 30 feet shorter than it is now. They built it and opened it in November of 1948.
48,
It's been operating continuously since November 1948. If you do that math, which I'm old, I don't like math. We just finished our 75th season as a roller rink.
Wow, okay. So now, when you say it used to be how much shorter?
About 30 feet. If you ever skate here, or when you skate here, when you're on the floor, you'll see our pattern end in the back of the rink and it restarts again. That was the original back of the rink, the building. The owners blew out the back wall and added 30 feet to the floor.
And that was done how?
3 or 4 years after.
Okay, so
I never got a exact date from the old owners.
Yeah, but pretty much the vast majority of the time it's been a rink, they expanded the floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so when did you take it over?
My wife Sophie and I bought it on July 1st, 2011.
2011. Okay. And did you own a rink prior to that?
No, I was in IT. I have an undergraduate degree in information science.
Okay.
My first career was information, IT, networking, help desks, customer service.
Okay. All right.
So
now, but you've skated for pretty much your whole life, or almost your whole life?
Almost my whole life.
Kid?
Yes. My parents met roller skating in the city of Pittsburgh. There's a place called Market Square, and it's kind of in the center of the city.
Okay.
Back in the early part of the century, mid part of the century, 20th century, there was a market called I forget the name of the market. It was a huge market.
Okay.
And on the second floor was a roller rink. It was called the Diamond.
Wow.
It was the Diamond Market, and that's where my parents met. It was in the middle of the city.
Wow.
And so my mom worked there. My dad saw her. He kind of stalked her from the story I understand. But
Okay, all right.
she started skating. She was about 15.
Laws were a lot looser back then.
This is a little different. This is a little different back then.
Yeah.
But they met in the mid 50s. They got married in 1957.
Okay.
I didn't come along till 63, so I'm a boomer X.
Okay.
And you may notice if I get too excited, I start getting my Pittsburgh accent. So my apologies.
What is a Pittsburgh accent?
Pittsburgh accent, instead of saying y'all, we say yins.
Okay, I know about yins.
And a Pittsburgh accent we speak very nasally, and it's a very lethargic or very lazy way of talking. So when you say, we're going to go downtown, I'm going to downtown Pittsburgh. You don't say that here. You say, I'm going downtown and that.
So it's like, it's a sedated type of, it's got a drawl almost?
Almost.
Okay.
I think it's laziness.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, so wait a minute. I have to hear more about this rink that was called what?
It was the Diamond Roller Rink.
So you're saying, okay, so below is like a market. Like when I think market, I think like Quincy Market, like where I grew up. Like little places like food spots and stuff like that? Is that
It was in the 50s. It was basically butchers and just an old school, but it was very big.
But above that
is the second floor was the skating rink.
Now, is this like a thing that like you could look down onto the market, or is it just completely floor? You were never there.
I was never there.
Oh, okay.
It was torn down before I was born, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And my mom and dad never said that they looked down. It was all kind of a second floor.
It was completely individual.
Right.
Okay.
It was isolated. You couldn't.
It sounds interesting though.
Yeah, but they said the floor was hideous. It was a hard floor to skate. It was one of those, and I'm sure that a lot of our viewers...
It's suspended automatically. It has
it was built on the second floor.
Right.
So it was solid, but they said it was just a bad floor. And we've all skated that floor where you turn and you feel this. And yes. Yeah. So they, at some point they left there and they started teaching in the South Hills of Pittsburgh at a place called Bethel Roller Rink. And some of your viewers from this area probably know that.
I've heard of it.
One of our coaches, Jeff, he skated there. He taught there back in the 70s.
Okay.
They taught in the late 50s, early 60s. And then I came along. My mom got sick after I was born, and so they didn't have any more children. So I'm an only child. As I said, I'm a boomer X. I'm right on that cusp.
Okay.
My parents are not boomers. They're silent gen. I'm still kind of feral. So, but they didn't skate much. She was sick and he was sick. And they came down here, I want to say October 1969. I was 6. It was a Halloween party, and I wanted to come, and I couldn't come because it was not for kids. It was the classic organ music skating, very cool stuff. The next weekend, well, you know.
Well, I can't hide it. I can't hide it, and it's the worst. Not being from Pennsylvania, I can't because I know it's so deeply ingrained in skating everywhere in PA, and I know.
We learned that when I started skating. I came here October or November of 1969.
Okay.
So I was 6 years old when I turned 6 in May. They did take me when I was 3 to another place in the eastern area of the city called Rainbow Gardens in White Oak. It was an amusement park that had a roller rink there. Had a swimming pool, amusement park, roller rink. There may have been a drive-in. I was 3, and that's when everything had the loose ball bearings. I did not like the noise. Uh-oh.
It's a... All right, keep going.
Okay. I didn't like the noise, so I cried. So they didn't try again until I was 6.
Okay.
So my dad brought me down. Of course, my mom did not come. My dad brought me down. Of course, you know how our moms are. They don't want to see us get hurt, right? So I got going my first Sunday. The admission for skate sessions Sunday afternoons in 1969 was 90 cents. 90 cents. I don't remember what the skate rental was. But we started going. I rented, of course, and then not long after, they got me my first pair of skates, and I just kind of came.
What's your first pair of skates? How old and what do you remember them?
I think I still have them. I want to say it was an old Chicago. My first setup was an old Chicago, I think a Rydell. It had the jump bar, instead of being straight, was kind of the arch of that, that, the triangular. Yeah. It's kind of like that. Single action, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And I do believe they were loose ball. I'd have to look. I think I still have them in my mom's old house.
So when you get that first set of skates, are you a regular skater? Is there a home rink? Like you're there every week,
This is my home rink.
Like since?
This is where I learned to skate. I started here in 1969. This is home.
Okay.
We were blessed enough to be able to buy my home rink.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a huge thing. I mean, my rink closed shortly after I went to college. It's still standing, but I think they just store automotive stuff there now or something like that. It's the worst to go by. So you're literally skating. This is your entire life of skating. Is this place? Was there a period of time after you, after high school, college, anything, that you stopped for a period of time as an adult or anything like that?
Not for an extended period, no, because, like I said, my mom and dad taught, and we skated, and then the kind of cool thing, I don't want to say OG, but I was in that transition during the 70s from organ to disco. Okay. I was a teenager when that hit, so that was some of the best times, and that's where the concept of skate family first came to my head, because this rink we pulled 7 or 8 different school districts, and it didn't matter what school you were in. And I dated a girl who was in a rival district of mine. We were here, but when we were here, we were skating, which was really the coolest part. But we transitioned Saturday and Sunday afternoons. I did that, and then my dad got hurt, so I stopped for probably I was in junior high school or 6th grade. Stopped for maybe a year and a half. Okay. He had a bad back, so we couldn't really come.
Okay.
So no like 10, 15 year, but it was
right. Yeah. No. So now was there a period of time as a kid, you growing up, where it was just strictly organ music?
Oh, yes.
And was it live organ?
Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, it was a live organist. when I was here, when we were here Friday night and Saturday night, it was recorded. And Saturday and Sunday afternoon, it was all recorded.
Okay.
They would still call them. They would call the specials. They would call circle waltz. They would call the different dances. So they also had a pretty good lesson program with coaching. So I thought about going into competition, but it just didn't appeal to me.
Okay.
There was no speed team here, so I was not exposed to that.
So everything was like rhythm and figure here, basically?
There was no such thing as rhythm.
No rhythm.
It was dance and figure.
Okay.
And it was the organ music.
Yeah.
And over the years, as I got older and in my 20s, unfortunately that died out because a lot of those skaters, if you were new and you didn't know, they would kind of chase you out. You're renting or you don't know what you're doing. Heck, my mom said when you would follow somebody when we're out at our skate champs. Hey, I like that footwork. We show each other. Not a lot, but some of the artistic skaters, they get coaches. And they would say, I'm following you, or you're following me, and I would turn around and say, don't follow me. I paid for
Yeah, that's okay. That's how
yeah.
like you want a lesson, you pay for it kind of thing. Like,
Even during a public session, they didn't want you following them.
it's so interesting.
And that, in my opinion, helped to. I don't want to say kill that, but that type of skating became less popular.
So was it like you're referring to like a shuffle kind of thing that they just didn't want to?
No, like circle waltz, two-step, Denver shuffle,
right?
Schottisches, classic skating.
Yeah.
And then the organist would take a break during intermission, and then that's what people would practice their figures during a public session.
So did you have was there an organist here that was here for years, like a couple of different organists?
Yes.
Like there are some, like I can't think of the names right now, like in the Reading area.
Marty Dumick?
That's a name I know.
Marty's from here. Marty played here.
Yeah, like because the same people, they play Gretna and they play Fantasy in Reading.
Fantasy. That's Jeannie and Alan's rink. Yes.
Yeah.
Good friends with them. We work with them on the Roller Skating Association.
Yeah. They're very involved in the RSA.
Right.
Yeah. But like there are these names that are just like these organists that have been doing it for years.
Ralph Brown. I skated to him at Fantasy when we took over this place.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ralph, Marty, and I will tell you, we hold a Thursday morning organ session now. My mom still skates. She's in her late 80s.
No kidding. I had no idea.
She's 88.
Wow.
And so we don't get that many people. We run it for her and for some others.
Yeah.
And they all prefer Marty. And Marty knows that. I get a hold of him every once in a while.
It's interesting. The first time I'd seen it, it was at Overlook in Lancaster, and it was interesting too because like they're playing this organ music, but they're playing like current pop hits on this organ,
right?
Which was blowing my mind. You know what I mean? Okay, so like you need to get a drink or anything? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so with that, okay, you're here this whole time. You're skating. You watched it go from like this organ through this disco phase, which probably brought you from late 70s into the
mid 80s. Yeah, right.
Early 80s. Was there a time where organ music stopped here at all? I mean, it definitely slowed down, or it was not as frequent. But did it stop completely at any point, and you brought it back, or?
In the 70s, during the disco transition, they transitioned to top 40 music and other dance and. I mean, let's just face it. Some of that old dance stuff is good. Disco. The regular public sessions became all that top 40 and the different Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. They kept the organ music, and they kept the live organist as long as they could. And I don't know when. I want to say in the late 90s, it just dropped off enough that they no longer could afford the organist.
Okay.
And I think Bill Van Pelt was one of the last organists here. He was a good organist as well. I believe once he retired, he had passed away. But when we took over, there was still a Sunday night. Tuesday night. So it was Sundays and Tuesdays, organ. Then as that less and less, they took it to Tuesday night only, from 8 to 11.
Yeah.
We would still call the program, and it was very much, I had to play on skate number 2, I had to play a march. Skate number 3, it was this. Skate number 4, or ladies only, it was a polka or a march.
Okay.
So they're doing And then skate 10 was a 108 wall, circle walls.
Okay.
Then there was the first specials. It was usually bronze level specials, all forward, like a glide wall. So we would do that, and we found that it was 8 to 11. People were starting to leave. They're older. They're starting to leave at 9:30. It just, again, it kind of died off. We changed it to 7:30 to 10:30. Same thing. And then it just got to the point where it was not sustainable. So we closed it down, and that's when in the meantime, we were working to try and get other forms of the sport in here.
Okay.
One of the things was roller derby or junior roller derby.
Okay.
So that's a whole different story. But we did do organ music up until 2014-ish.
Okay. All right.
2015. I'd have to look and see when.
Yeah.
But I know people don't care for it. However, if you look at the basics of skating, I'll use an example, the dip.
Yeah.
It's really popular now.
Yeah.
I see people twisting themselves, their weight's all wrong. The dip is an outside edge on your right foot. It's an outside edge. That left foot is just guiding you.
Yeah.
As you transition, it's an outside left edge.
Yeah.
The bad part, because that's all died off, there was not a good transfer of knowledge. So, things like you hear the term bubbles. That's not bubbles, they're scissors. But it just changed because of there was no continuity with the language.
Yeah, and the thing with the organ thing, I can't. There's one thing I didn't grow up on it, so I think it's like anything. If it's not in like your DNA kind of thing, it's just not in your DNA, right?
Right.
It makes perfect sense though for the mechanics, especially shuffle skating. Oh my God, it makes perfect sense. I see how it works. I know. I get the rhythm. I also understand too that like. Talking to like the Greg Fullers and talking to some people that have like some real deep roots in shuffle skating and organ music shuffle skating, like it is also it's such an obvious beat and rhythm that it's like even for like the less rhythmically inclined, it's like the perfect tool. It's so, and I'm not saying easy. I'm just saying you can't miss it.
It's the downbeat, the 2 and the 4. It's right there.
Right.
Exactly. That's part of the issue that again I saw. As a session skater or a rounder, I get it. And I've been called because if you don't, certain people who compete, if you don't compete, you're not part of.
Okay.
You're not part of the club, shall we say.
Yeah.
But we're skaters. I don't care who we are.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I noticed when we took over, the kids weren't skating to the beat. We let that as rink operators because things change. We now have Family Entertainment Center, you have video games, you have all these things to help places stay open because skating is cyclic.
Oh, it's so cyclic.
Oh,
it's
very much so.
It's unbelievable how you can watch it. And my estimation now, I think social media is going to help with this a lot, keep it more relevant.
Yes.
Longer. But yeah, like these 10 to 15 year increments.
Yes.
Where it just comes in and out. Early 90s, rollerblading seemed to kill it for a little while.
Right.
The quad skating thing. When do you see it real pick back? Like the last time you saw like the influx, the pickup, when was that?
When we took over here, well, we're a little bit different here in Pittsburgh because when we, at one time as we were talking earlier, there was the Diamond Rink. There were 3, there was the Lexington, the Flamingo in the in the east end of Pittsburgh, and I think they closed. My parents skated there. Then the Coliseum opened up in Homewood.
Okay.
That's closed. In the 70s, the boom hit, there were 7 or 8 rinks in the area. So you had that. Now, as things, the denouement, as things cycled down, they all closed down. At this time, there is a place called Eden Park Roller Rink. It's in McKeesport, PA. It's about 45 minutes from here in our county, Allegheny County, in Neville Roller Drome. Our county has 1.1 million people. We're the only full-size roller rink.
Now, so there's a question I have real quick before I forget this. So, what was it? And I've already forgotten it. It's fantastic.
stuff.
So, okay. One is, do you know? Okay, so one of the first things I ever did with the podcast, I was like just doing these rink tours thing, and I went to Mount Gretna, which is in my area. It's in Lebanon County. Now, they're like the oldest operating rink in Pennsylvania, and they're like a couple. I think they're 5 years away from 100 or something like that.
Wow.
But you guys are 75. That's like that.
Right.
Do you know where you stand as far as like the the
Rankings and oldest, I think there's at least a rink from maybe 1900. I don't know if the RSA has all of that.
But you don't know as far as like just PA, like I mean, you got to be up there. I would assume you're like in the top 10.
Maybe top 5.
Yeah.
There's Mount Gretna. There's another one up in Butler called Sk8LikeYou.
Okay.
They've been operating, I think they opened 6 or 8 months before we did.
Okay.
I think they were late 47 or early 48. And I didn't realize Mount Gretna is that old.
Yeah. So it's the building, like it's the oldest operating
skating rink?
Yeah, like in the oldest building. They used to have the PA Farm Show there.
Okay.
So like literally there is this back wall where they would bring the cattle in. That floor that I skate on, they auction cattle there. Like it's basically what was I guess, because the way they explained it to me was we have the PA Farm Show in Harrisburg now.
Right.
But what it used to be is every county had their own thing.
County fair. We used to have a county fair here in Allegheny County in South Park. South Park had, and I never skated there, they had an outdoor roller rink with paths and everything in the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
And North Park, the county park, they converted in the summertime the ice rink to roller skating.
Okay.
So there were things going on at the county level, but I remember the county fair when I was 10, 11 years old.
So Jim is an adult. He's an IT guy, right? He grows up, kind of, sort of, right? But you're still skating, but you're doing an entirely different thing career-wise. You grew up in this place. So when is owning this place or taking over this place always been a thing? If not, when did it become a vision for you? And what was that process like? I mean, to literally step out of like this secure thing to just, I'm going to own a rink.
Well, we're going to go down a little bit of a faith walk here.
Okay.
So we're not going to proselytize.
Okay.
We're not going to try and convert anyone.
No. Say what you're going to say.
But I grew up here. My parents were good friends with there was 3 brothers who owned it. The DeRamo family. It was Tony was the oldest, then Victor, and then Dan.
Okay.
And when they opened in 48, Danny was 15. The other 2 were older. Tony, that family had immigrated in from Italy.
Okay.
When Tony got back from World War II, he wanted to open up a business.
All right.
They were working on Neville Island, Draveau. A lot of heavy industry was on here. We were in the middle of a river, of the Ohio River, about 6 miles downstream from the point in Pittsburgh. So the island is 4.5 miles long and 2,000 feet wide at one point. So it's a pretty big island, but we are an island destination. But the old owners, they were going to open up an auto parts place. I never could get from them how they decided on a skating rink. And it's a floating floor, how they figured it all out. They built everything. My parents were good friends with them. I grew up skating here. I never really thought about owning it. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I did a lot of dance clubs in the 80s and 90s. I thought it would be really cool to work in a nightclub. Nah, not so much. It's hard work.
Oh my God.
It's hard work. It's long hours.
The nightclub, the restaurant thing,
bartending,
it's
art. It's
nightmare from everyone I've ever known that has worked long term in those industries. Also, you meet some
interesting people.
Yes.
Unique people.
Yes, with a lot of extracurricular activities going on.
Yes.
So anyway.
So I was in IT, got married, have my kids. They skate. Now my grandkids skate. I have 4 generations in this building.
Okay.
Personally, my mom and dad, me, my wife and I, my kids, and now my grandkids.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So grow up. My wife Sophie she's always wanted to own a building, or own a business.
Okay.
So she went back to graduate school. We both worked at Carnegie Mellon University. I went back to graduate school. She's in organizational management. She's in leadership.
Okay.
So she finished up. She was working there. I'm continuing. I'm thinking, okay, well, graduation's coming up. What am I going to do? Do I go back into technical teaching? Do I start a consulting firm? Do I get a consult? I'm in my late 40s, and I knew this place had been for sale for multiple years, 5-6 years.
Now, real quick, was Sophie a skater too prior to all this? Or?
She was not.
Okay.
She skates some.
Okay.
But it's really bit my daughter hard and my son.
Yeah.
And my grandkids.
Okay.
So I was here at a late skate. Somebody rented it out, and I asked the owners. I knew it was for sale. I said, Danny, what goes on here when you're not open? I mean, we all see. We're at the skate shuffle event. We're at a session. There's kids everywhere, or there's this or that. What goes on behind the scenes? They were old school, very tight-lipped. Would not tell me anything. You know, and I've known them. I knew them all my life. Danny was one of my dad's pallbearers. One of the family helped bury my father. I mean, we were tight, but we're not in the business.
Right, right.
So I left that.
It's almost like being Mormon.
Or Mason, or whatever. You're not in the club.
Yeah, exactly.
I left here. It was about 2:30 in the morning, and I remember driving home, and I said out loud, I'm not wasting a $60,000 education on grinding skates. At the time, we ground the skate wheels to clean the dirt. They did not have a wheel washer. They ground them, and they had it. It was real interesting. The next day, I told my wife, I said, forget about it. We're not gonna look at buying the building. Not gonna look at it. She said, okay. Because we thought about, should we look at it?
Yeah.
We never owned a business.
Okay, yeah.
You know, we both were I was in corporate, she was in banking, she was in higher education. We were both in higher ed. And every time over the next few months, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You know, you make that decision.
What are you trying to convince yourself?
Well, no.
You had decided.
I decided, no. They wouldn't tell me anything. I don't know enough about the industry.
Okay.
I didn't know enough about the cycles. Our daughter was working here at the time. So I'm continuing school, we're working, and every once in a while I'm thinking, graduation's coming. What am I going to do? And I literally heard a voice right here say, the rink. No. I have my conversation with myself. No. Okay, this goes on for a few months. One day after church, Sophie and I were changing. We were in our bedroom. And I said, graduation's coming up, and I'm here. I'm thinking about something. You're probably going to hit me.
Voices in my head are saying.
I'm thinking, she knows me. We've been married long. Yeah, voices in my head. Remember, I did grow up in the 70s. So
hey, man, I get it. It's all good.
So I said, I've been thinking about this. And she said, buying the rink. I hadn't talked to her for at least 6 to 8 weeks.
But they know. Or do you think something was...
Something else was going on. For what as a person of faith, we call that affirmation. Am I supposed to be doing this? Yeah, no. But out of clear blue sky, when you just say that, okay, we have to try. At that point, it was, okay, Lord, we'll try.
Right.
It wasn't, okay, we're doing whatever.
Right.
We're Dave Ramsey of Files. We were working to get out of debt personally, so we were out of debt. So we started researching. I asked my daughter how, general numbers for the cafe. One of the DJs, he was here. Again, somebody I skated with. We kind of got approximate numbers this time of the year, like February through the beginning of March. And as a skater, we all know, as skaters, when does it up north? When does it slow down? Spring, summer.
Yeah.
When is it busy? Now. And how much does it slow down? 50 to 70%.
It's very prevalent in PA, more prevalent than even in like Maine and Mass where I skated. Like it's the summers. I mean, they're not as long, but it doesn't die down like it does in Pennsylvania. It really dies down here a lot.
Right. So we did. I had that. I started doing research. We wrote the business plan, and she was on board. I didn't understand fully how on board she was. So we had some. And we still bump heads. We had some stuff, but we got everything lined up. My initial business plan was our plan was about 30 pages. We did numbers. We ran all the stuff. At that time the RSA did not have the guide. There's now a guide if you're going to start this. We placed our bid. We secured what we thought would be. Financing. We placed the bid, and the family withdrew. They didn't take any more bids. the one daughter of the oldest brother, Tony, who had passed. Tony passed away a few years before we bought the place. 91. He was 91. His daughter told the family, "Oh no, they're going to be doing more stuff on the island. It's not enough. You're not asking enough money for it." So they withdrew it. And okay, we told our real estate agent, "Hey, we're interested. If they open back up, take bids again, let us know." That was, I guess, spring of 2009, maybe 2010. December, January, I get an email just from the real estate agent accepting bids again. So we started the whole process again, and
what kind of bidding war is this? How many other
There's just two of us.
Okay.
And they are another skater. And they actually did some lessons here. She's a skater. She actually owns a rink now. Indiana, Illinois, right over near the border. So it was kind of interesting that we didn't know that at the time. And her partner at the time, they were both skating here, and then they were, and that's okay. But I personally think the Drome family wanted us to have it because they knew our family.
Yeah.
They knew we weren't going to ruin things, and
they were tight-lipped with you. Never mind someone they didn't know.
Right.
Exactly. Can you?
If this is boring, I apologize.
No. Can you give me some insight into why you think was that? Because it seems almost like a cultural thing, as far as maybe the rink owners of that time, that they didn't. Because you said they didn't share information.
Right.
Like almost like that was like a thing among a lot of rink owners. Was there a reason for that? Do you know, or just?
I don't.
Because it's so different now, right? Everything is so inclusive now in skating.
It is. There's a lot more.
To a whole nother degree,
Rink
a whole different extreme. So
I think this, again, my personal thoughts and experience. These older owners, and again, I'm a boomer. Technically, I'm a Gen X boomer. We're different. Those old people, you remember. You got to pay your dues. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
They would give you a little bit of information or guide you, but you had to stumble.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot more of that, and it was a lot, more competitive. Ever since
these are Depression era people.
Yeah, Depression era. They're kind of and then boomers who their kids who are generations before me. That's a whole different thing if they own. Then you have dynasty families like the Cooey family.
Right.
You have Court and his family. They've been around. They know the industry. They're the leaders of the industry. Because they have weathered all of this. And Bobby Bentley down south, Skate Cities. Jeff, can't remember Jeff's last name. The Skate Cities, Jeff and Larry. Then you have people like Jeff Cooey. He was a speed skater. They were in that. I wasn't. I'm a session guy. I want to skate with everybody. I want everyone to enjoy what we enjoy. I think we kind of had to move forward with the times, because if you don't, especially with social media, especially with, you used to take an ad out in the yellow pages. That's it.
Yeah.
Or, you didn't, maybe a special event for the newspaper. Other than that, but now you're out there, people are posting about you. You want to be out there. You want to say, hey, this is who we are.
You want to control that narrative too as much as possible, obviously.
Right.
Because the social media days, man.
Yeah, that's why, with Liz, she does an excellent job. I just don't have the time and the cycles, and she's very good, and she understands that. So we're very happy with Rink Rat Chat and how we're doing things, and the fact that you're here and we're talking. I love that. But us seeing people still passionate about skating, and I do hear a decent amount of adults complain about kids. That's great. I complain too. Adult skaters, we're the worst. We are the worst.
Yeah,
absolute worst.
Pretty set in our ways.
Yeah. Our kids are the future. The kids are the future. I'll be 62. I am not the future of roller skating. How can I get families in here having a good time, a good product, skating? Now, if we see my rink later on, or our rink later on, I don't have video games. I have 0 video games. I could use some. I don't have room for it. I'm a roll on, roll off. I can only host 3 parties on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. I'm limited space. Many of my fellow rink owners said, cut your floor.
Right. Put a jungle gym in or something.
Put video games in. I'm old school. KISS. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
We want to be the best at roller skating we can. And how many forms of roller skating can I offer? That's all.
So the one thing I have to ask, kind of off topic, but so this place has been here for 75 years. You're on an island, a wood floor. Never any flooding issues ever. That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
The 1936 flood in Pittsburgh. That's a big one for us. Agnes in 72, that was a storm. 36 flood was before a lot of the lock and dams were in place. Water, there's a church 2 blocks over, water got to there. But other than that, never had any issues.
That's awesome.
And we're technically on the high side of the island.
Okay. All right. So you're so it was 2000 what when you officially take
July
over?
1st, 2011.
July 1st, 2011. Okay.
I was terrified.
Yeah?
We got everything going. We're terrified. We put
It's understandable.
We put everything on the line.
Yeah.
We got the commercial loan. We bought the land and the business, set up businesses, set things up. We were scrounging to find change for the cafe, the skate room, and our initial the front gate.
Yeah.
And I was terrified. Will they come? Can we do this? We had fights. There were issues. It took us 2 years to clean the place up.
Was it
really
closed
change.
for a period of time when it changed hands?
No. The old owners, as they got older, they would close down for a month or so to take vacation. But it's been continuously running. So it was terrifying.
And what was the average sessions like when you took it over? I mean, was it hopping?
It was busy,
Yeah,
but there were problems on Friday and Saturday night.
Okay.
There were fights.
Okay.
There were things. So we had to really get a handle on that. And negativity. Swearing, we implemented a dress code, hired more guards, had good security. Our greeter is our greeter. We have a greeter, and you can see, I think Anthony's out there right now. Excuse me. When you walk in, we want you to feel welcome. I know some places will say metal detector. Well, if we have a metal detector, families, what's going on here?
Certain message, yeah.
So we try not to have that. We had security for some of our other sessions. We've had that. We had to. But we don't do that. We want you here, and we expect things. If you're a regular, if you're my rink rat, I'm harder on you than I am my noobs. I mean, we know that. We should. Because if you're here, you know how to behave.
Right.
We want you to be part of this. Because I don't know how it was with you, but for me, that 9th grade or 10th grade till maybe your freshman year in college age, this was your rink. It was your rink. It was your group.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what you got. You boys and girls, men. It was you guys. That was the special time in your life. That wasn't happening when we took over.
Okay.
More of that began to happen. That was the vision. My vision
Just have regulars. Have your people that were there.
And I couldn't verbalize it. I tried using old music, and it wasn't it. It's the culture that wasn't there that we're bringing back. The culture when we go to the shuffle skates, when you go to things like Icy Hot, when you go to these different events, it's the culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important too, because I can attest to having been around now, back around in the skate scene and getting heavily into the shuffle skate scene and the event scene, where you can tell when you go to an event, right, at a rink, you can tell like what rink and what rink owner truly embraces that event versus, and it's business.
It's business. I get it. Yes,
I 100% understand that, but there is a definite difference where you can see when a rink embraces that kind of thing versus just
we're here to make money.
Yeah, and of course you are. But when it's strictly that to the point where it almost makes it hard to do like a promoter to have an event,
Right.
there's such a culture difference. It's so apparent when I go into an event, and like this is one of them, right? When I come to Steel City, and I do want to ask about that. Another one is like, when I go down to USA and I go to Shuffle, like USA Shuffle event, Sparkles, like they want that there just as much as the skaters do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like when I come here. So I do have to ask, with 8 wheels, no brakes being, I mean, look, Rob, Jackie, like...
Let's just be honest. Let's be blatantly honest. If Rob had not started 8 wheels, no brakes, none of this at the national level will be occurring, in my opinion. In my opinion, Rob is the grandfather of. Yes, he took the
shuffle skate,
the flea hop,
event,
and shuffle, and he brought it to the 21st century.
Absolutely,
this was all him. My first event, I saw the energy.
Yeah,
and I was an owner. I'm like, Rob, I'm Jim. I want to talk to you. How do we do this in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. And so,
but it's that. I get it. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's passion, man. You get it.
Because and it's infectious. It's contagious.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Like the first time I met Rob Cosmano, like we kind of found each other in a sense. I was at Roller Jam. We end up outside in the winter on the porch in skates, talking for 30, 40 minutes.
Yes.
Just about skating.
Yes.
And you get Rob talking about skating, and
I know.
He's just so passionate. And. Like the thing that I hear from him a lot, and I heard from Jackie, was like his passion over popularity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that is such an institution, 8 wheels, no brakes. When I talk, and the craziest thing is I never got to do it, but when I talk to the people that went, they talk about it like they don't talk about any other event.
No.
But of course it goes away, right? But essentially, Steel City, to a degree, has kind of like, I don't know, like, I mean,
I never wanted to duplicate it.
Right.
I want that. I want people to enjoy.
But Rob, I look at the Steel City banner, whatever it is, and I see the 8 wheels, no brakes logo on that. And Rob is not going to just willy-nilly that to anybody.
No.
So what was it about dealing with Jim Park at Neville Roller Drome that Rob said, you know what, take this and run with it?
Well,
because he's not going to do that for anybody. Just anyone.
We haven't run with it per se.
Your logo is on that thing. The 8 wheel, no brakes.
Well, our regular logo, no.
No. I mean the Steel City Shuffle Skate thing.
The Steel City Shuffle Skate.
Yeah.
We
I saw
always
the EWMB.
Yeah. So how that came about, talking with Rob, and when we tried to get it going, Rob had September, and we were thinking, how can we go maybe spring? We don't want to go winter because you can't get people. And then something called Tri-State Shuffle popped up. That was which is, I believe, that morphed into at this point. I believe, I could be wrong, Big Daddy Ray's Tri-Rink.
Yep.
So
coming up in April.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. April. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be there. I'm going to USA in March.
I'll see you there.
And April, we're going to try and get to Philly. It's only 6 hours. I can fly to Georgia, but I can't go to Philly. I'm coming, Ray. And then we have Skate Reflections at the end of May. I don't know if I can do that. Then Billy's is in.
I love that.
Yeah. Billy's gone. Billy's great. But when I met with Rob, I talked to him again. These conversations, and I tried not to bother him on those weekends because he was Rob. Everybody's he's there, and he's coordinating. He's working with the rink owner. I never met that rink owner. Never met that rink owner.
Okay.
Love that floor. I had some issues after the roof caved in, but I asked him how he did it and why he did it and why he did it this way. And I listened to him. And I think that's it. We connected. And he knows that I didn't shut down.
Let me just say, you said something important. You listened to him. Because I know personally from talking with Rob, he's tried to help many many people and they don't listen to him, and you can tell.
Yep.
So anyway.
But and that just isn't as a skater, that's as
promoter.
The owner.
The owner.
Because we don't use outside promoters because we've had some issues in the past. Yeah. So we do our own thing. And that's why we have our people. So Rob, I had conversations and he talked with me, and this is why I do it this way. And initially, we really modeled it after him. Saturday we would have another rink at the time. Had new owners. They took over a couple of years ago. Didn't work as well as I had some not as positive feedback, but it would be the first night, Saturday, would be people came in and do the meeting, or I think they would do Saturday, and then Sunday would be like open streets Pittsburgh. You skate outside. That's not by us. And then Sunday night would be our main event. The reason I did that is that's how Rob did it. And then when he finally told me, well, that's when the rink owner would give me. They wouldn't kill one of their sessions. I kind of see that. It's July. I'm doing mine in July. We did it, had some stuff. It turned out pretty good. Then COVID hit, and we came back. And Sophie and I discussed, you know what? Let's change it to Friday night and Saturday night. We'll give up a Saturday night session, and then Sunday people can go in open streets because that's when usually it is, and skate around the city and see the city because we like doing that in New York City. We would get in Friday night, meet up Saturday somewhere in New York, and skate all day.
And have you found, because I always have opinions about this, but I know my opinions are for nothing in most cases because I don't own a rink, right? There's a whole level of things that I don't have an understanding about. One is, literally putting my ass on the line, right? Not owning a rink. But has it been, worthwhile for you to actually close those sessions and just have those events for it? Has it worked out? Like, not just...
I don't make anything.
Oh, you don't? Okay. All right.
We break even.
Okay.
This is definitely not a, hey, I'm here to make a lot of money on it. I get frustrated because I want this to go in Pittsburgh, and we see this, and yet we can't get it shuffling going here. So now we're doing once a month, we're doing shuffle music, we're billing it as such. That's one of the reasons I went to Abilene at Jeff's, the Texas Showdown. How did they run that Learn to Shuffle class?
Yeah, because he's literally doing that now. He's doing exactly what you're trying to, yeah.
So, getting back with Rob, we changed the format, and I talked to him first. Hey, we're thinking about doing this. He's like, yeah, it's your rink. It's just, why not? Because it's going to be easier on people. They can get in Friday night. There's a warm-up. Now maybe we do a meet and greet on a Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. But we have Friday night. DJ Pat does that. He's very good. And then Tito comes in. We bring Tito in just because.
Because Tito?
It's Tito. I love skating to Tito.
Absolutely.
Love me some Tito. And I really miss roller jam, smaller jam. And I will tell you, the first time I got on that floor, I was intimidated. I came in. For those of you who've been there, you walk in, and an idiot that I am, I saw the first gate. I didn't realize the second gate was down here, and it's going. I was there with Uncle Jams. Sophie was there. I'm like, do I go? Do I go? Are my wheels gonna hold?
Yeah.
And they held, and it's.
Nothing like it, right?
No. It's unique. It was unique. I miss roller jam.
I really do.
But that whole thing, and getting back with Rob, talking with him, like the T-shirt ideas. We talked to him about how the T-shirts and designs and what the philosophy. That's why ours are. We didn't copy, but we have that sort of thing where people. It's special. It's just not some, throwaway. It's special. One year we started giving away water. I now have a cooler. We give away 5 or 6 cases of water. Whatever. Who cares? You're hot. I don't need to make everything all the time.
And it says something though to like someone like me that comes. Look, you're here, you're skating your butt off, and it's a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal, right? Like, and it makes and people, you hear people talking about it.
Right.
There's free water over there. There's free water. And there's just grateful for that, right?
We're spending how many hundreds of dollars to go to these events? I do too. I don't, because I'm a rink owner. I'm paying, I'm paying my airfare. I'm paying things. So but it's. But as far as the 8 wheels, and this will help clear things up. The 8 wheels, no brakes, because we treat Rob with respect, and we see it as an homage to 8 wheels.
Yes.
Gone but not forgotten.
Right.
We were last year we were at the the USA Shuffle in March and in Georgia, and Sophie was there, and we showed there was a lady the year before broke her wrist at open streets here. She couldn't skate. We showed her the design. It was the design for the shirt. It was early, and she saw it, and she saw EWNB. Hey, are you allowed? That's Rob's. I mean, people in our community are very possessive and protective of Rob.
Well, it's a respect thing.
It's very respectful,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's for us. We feel privileged that he approves of. He comes, Jackie comes, that Andy and the North Carolina crew comes, that Lacey comes up. That people are now coming. The first time I did this in 2019, I had a grin from ear to ear. People were coming from across the country to my rink to skate with us. That is what it's about for me.
Yeah.
Tito's here. Tito blows my speakers out. Hopefully my okay. Shh. Secret announcement. If all goes well, we have a new sound system on order. We will have new sound.
Tito, come blow it out.
Tito. We're going to have a new sound system this year for 8 wheels. So we will have new and upgraded. Our sound system is over 50 years old.
Jim got all that stuff for 47 from
I know.
Roller Jam. He scooped all that out. Like he needed it too. You know what I mean? God damn, his 47 is just off the chain already.
Oh,
but yeah, Tito, come blow up Neville with the new stuff.
I got you, Tito, and you know.
Oh man, I love that dude. That's another one, man. Yeah, but the thing with Rob too is that it's so funny because I wanted to get Rob on the podcast and he was just he just didn't. He wanted Jackie to do it. He thought that she would get in less trouble than. But so what's hilarious is that it was actually during the last Steel City where I was trying to make that happen, and we were here at the what is it, the Fairfield or whatever behind the sheets right over here.
Right. Yes.
And everyone was out at that streets thing, and of course I went down to the breakfast area down in the lobby at the hotel to sit down and talk with Rob about that whole thing. And of course, Rob and I sit there for an hour and a half and talk. What would have been a perfect podcast, to be honest with you.
Right.
But here's the thing. Here's what the thing is that Rob, no matter what, every time, whenever we talk about events or doing this or doing that or anything that he had to tell me, because I've helped with Ray's events and stuff like that as much as and he just always comes back to, no matter what, no matter what question, no matter where you go, no matter what curveball you throw at him, he literally always brings it back to these core fundamental principles of just do what's right for the skater, do what's right for the skater. And I just have so much respect for that. It's unbelievable. And the thing about Steel City is that was my first event.
Really?
But yeah, my first event was a Steel City event.
That's cool. That's very cool.
It's awesome to me because, it's like my first foray into this world, right? Since coming back to skating, I never saw anything like it before. And to be honest with you, with someone like my personality, it was going to determine whether I was going to go to another event.
Right.
And the experience I had here shaped my thinking about, oh yeah, this is something worth doing.
Wow, thank you.
No, it's 100% the truth.
Wow.
I went from here to flying over Castle Walls. That was the next one. And then another Philly thing. And then, and then it was USA. And then it was Skate Reflections. But I mean, that whole experience started here.
Right.
And it also shaped my vision of how I perceive Neville. I mean, I looked at this place they host this thing here. This is a special place. Look at and I'm meeting people from everywhere.
Right.
People I'd seen online only, right? There's famous skaters, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff, who are just, my friends now. It's
exactly.
But I had that first experience that I'll never recapture. I had it in this place, man.
That's cool.
And it was
very cool.
And it was awesome. It literally shaped my willingness and my desire and my motivation to go do it again at another place. So I think you're doing it right as far as what I saw, felt, and captured here myself. Yeah, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's heartfelt. As a skater, I like that. As an owner, I'm doing a service with and for my skaters. And how can I now bring that? You're out of town. How do I bring that to my local skaters? That's my next thing. How do we build that?
And well, you are doing something. You're doing the lessons.
Lessons are going well. Excuse me. We hold beginner skate lessons. There's 5 weeks long. We have 5 teachers. Liz is one of them. JD, our rink rat chat.
Shout out JD.
JD, they do a great job. Sometimes I actually put my skates on and do help if I'm not pulled 400 ways. But we're actually developing an intermediate now. We're looking at what that next level. Once you're done here, what skills, your basic skills here, what will you need for that next level? Are we doing edges? Are we doing 3 turns? Are we doing transitions? Backwards cross pulls and all of that stuff. So we're developing that now.
And you guys get like a curriculum to kind of base off of from the RSA, but you can kind of make it your own. Is that how that works?
We do. We're part of the Society of Roller Skating Teachers of America.
Okay.
And our coaches are certified through them. And there's kind of basics on how to get going. Now, with everyone's teaching style, we're a little bit different. So we get those, instead of maybe it's not as rigorous, or I know Josh, our one gentleman who developed the actual curriculum, he developed it very similar to a motorcycle safety course.
Okay.
Where we're doing that. And that's good for getting brand new people up and going. Jeff's style is a little different. He's from the Oregon style where you stand and you do this. Will, our other teacher, he's only been skating about 3 years, so he's very new, so he has a different approach, a little bit not as technical as, say, Jeff. So, and I'm kind of floating in between. You know what I mean? I'm old school because I was taught to skate like this. That's why that's why it kills me. As much as I try, I cannot skate a low skate with a wide wheel.
Okay.
I fall on my face because of how I was trained to skate, bring your feet in, push, bring it in. And that 44 millimeter wheel, I'll trip myself.
I literally just was able to get back to it, and the only reason I'm even okay with it is because I got those new Ghost Assassins that are so light, it's unbelievable.
I have to watch that. I have not watched.
Oh my God, it's so light because I've always done the since I've been skating again, I went to that 39, right? The 39 width.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, that's perfect, especially for my tight footwork. But that wheel is so light that anyway, it doesn't matter.
I have to try a set.
But I will say, though, because I came up here a little while ago, we're actually going to, with the Rink Rat Chat, releasing kind of like this special on Skate Like You about the lessons that take place here. I came up, got a bunch of footage, talked to a bunch of people. The thing is, everyone that I talked to here that took the lessons, one, they all rave about it, they love it, they have a ton of fun, and they repeat. They come back because it's like what? It's 5 weeks. 5 weeks, and then they come. I talk to people that are here like their third time through.
Well, now we have that kind of that base. We have to get that next level so we don't lose them. They are skating. They are buying skates, preferably through our shop. But I understand if not.
But because the other thing that happens is they finish a lesson here, and included with the cost of the lesson, that 5-week lesson, they can stay for that session.
Correct.
Following, which is huge. I mean, put it to everything I learned, put it to practical use in a real environment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But everyone loved it. Everyone absolutely loved it. I can't wait to put the finishing touches on that whole thing.
I'm looking forward to that one. That's so it's taken us a while. Like I said, Josh relaunched it, and now as we've had more coming in, it's morphing and it's getting, I don't want to say more organic, but it's getting to the point where the flavors of our coaches are really coming into play, and it's really kind of neat to watch. And I'm amazed at our skaters. I'll look out in week 2, and they're already doing crossovers. And Liz with the littles, JD, they're playing games, they're playing Wipeout, it's great, and the kids aren't afraid.
Yeah, as I'm watching these kids and then talking to, little kids that had never put on skates before, and I'm watching what they're doing. I'm watching Liz and JD. They're just amazing with these kids. Because I don't know how to, in my head, I don't know how to tell anyone how to do this, right? To me, it's like, just do it, right? I could not ever.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Not with that, Liz is
You could.
amazing with these kids.
Yeah,
my God.
she is awesome with the kids.
And, you know, to be able to wrangle a bunch of kids on skates like that and just get them, they're going under a limbo stick backwards. And I'm like, what is,
What's happening here?
yeah,
Yes.
like in their third week of ever skating.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty amazing.
We separate them, and if they get too good or they get too rambunctious, we'll send them to the adult class.
There you go.
The olders. We'll send them up. I love the fact that she came up with the name Littles. I love that. That is such a cool term. But it's been a nice program. Our big thing for that next class is figuring out when we could actually have the time to do it.
Okay.
We're very busy in the way of sessions and then non-session practice times. So it's hard to find some extra time to get that extra hour in at a decent time for an intermediate lesson.
Yeah. And a curriculum. But you got people that are ready, though. They're trying at the bit to do it.
Right. And we're our team is actually developing. Okay, the biggest thing is going to be what are your minimum requirements?
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest thing because we're not going to be able to start over, if you know what I mean. If you're coming into this, we're going to have an expectation you have your own skates, you can do a crossover, you can stroke forwards, you should be able to go backwards. That these are the things we're figuring out. Now, what do we want to do? And I think one of the things, 3 turns, making sure we're doing mohawks and C turns properly. Let's teach the dip. Let's start teaching rhythm, whether it's a slower beat, a shuffle beat. Let's start teaching that, so we're skating to that beat. Again, do we go back to a 2/4 march or a 6/8 march on an organ just to get that downbeat?
Right. Yeah.
Or we play Havana and organ. I don't know.
Have Mayhem come up and just 128, 128 BPM and just go, just outside, right? So,
well, we can bring up Brian. Brian, I want Brian to get up here. He's always at C. Brian Baker.
Yeah.
He's always shake. Dude!
He's going to be on soon. He's just back now. I think he's going to be back for a little while. He's going to be on the podcast soon.
He deploys. You deploy every year. Yeah. I know you can't control it.
He's told me, man, I'm chomping at the bit. He's like, as a DJ, he's like, I got some stuff to say. I was like, hell yeah, dude, let's go, man.
Go. We were in Georgia last year at the USA Shuffle, and I came out of the hotel. I'm like, I forget who I was talking with somebody from up here. I'm like, that's some good music. That's some skate music. Who is that over there? It's across the parking lot, a little gazebo.
Yeah.
Like, it was Shake.
Yeah.
He's out there. We spent 3 hours listening to music and talking skate stuff. And he's like, oh, what is this? What's this coming in? What do you? Because I'm older, so I know a few things. I'm like, is this that? Oh, I like how that comes in, Shake. It was one of those moments that you can't script.
Yeah.
And
the thing about Brian too is like, and I'm not saying that he's the only one. It's just among the DJs or skate DJs that I know.
Yeah.
Brian loves to skate as much as he loves to DJ. I've found a lot of skate DJs, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's probably what makes them a good DJ, right? They prefer to DJ at a rink, but they prefer to be in the booth rather than on the floor.
Right.
And Brian has this equal balance of passion for both of them.
I like skating with him.
Yeah.
I want to roll to him playing in my rink.
But you want to work with him too.
Yeah. So the idea is, if we could ever get him up here, if he's ever free during Steel City, which we've talked. I know, Brian, I get you.
Yeah.
We would work with Pat. And
I got him first on my podcast. Though. That's all
we would work with Pat Flaherty, DJ Pat, and Tito would work with him, and those guys are handing off.
Well, he DJ'd Roller Jam.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah,
I wasn't there when he did it. I'm bumming.
He's done it for a while. He's definitely got. I know. I'd love to do something with him too.
But he's usually deployed.
Yeah.
He's on ship at that point, which I get.
Yep.
But that's one of our things, and invitation's still there. You know that, Shake.
Of these people that do the lessons, how many of them have you seen become your regular skaters? Does it happen?
Some of the adults, yes.
That's awesome.
I'm seeing that, and my kids, of course, they're coming out for family sessions.
So mission accomplished to a degree.
To a degree, yes.
Yeah.
And I always talk to them, and Jeff, our one instructor, he had his own Meineke business for 30 years, and he's a passionate skater. He competed at the state level. He used to do lifts with his girl and everything, and he he'll talk to them and say, this is great. You want to get your own skates. You can buy them anywhere, but here's what we do. Here's how. And he's increased our skate sales. You know, I'm a little different than a lot of other rinks. I do not have the $69 or $79 skate. All my skates start at $99, and that's the retro and the Lenexa Shadow, and they go up from there. I cannot seem to get speed skates going outside of, or derby jam skates outside of derby. I can't seem to get that going yet, and that'll come. It's all things in its time.
Yeah, it's just, and it sounds like this, whether even people realize it, that a rhythm skate or a high boot seems to be more built in the DNA of skating in this area.
Seems to be. No, but there's a big derby presence.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fully authorized for Bont. I'm fully authorized for Shore Grip, for Crazy, Rydell, Adea. I went through full training with Adea. And I don't know if you know about Adea and Skates US. You ever get a chance to get David Ripp on this podcast? Please do. David Ripp. Dave. His grandfather, Dave Ripp's grandfather, Charles Snyder.
I'm worth it. I'm worth your time.
Yes, David. Most definitely. Phenomenal skater, phenomenal engineer, sound engineer, wealth of history of the industry.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So that's plug for David, plug for Shake.
Nice, yeah, man.
So,
anyway.
But yeah, we want to have a decent skate. We want you to skate. We want your own skate. Whether you buy it from me or not, I prefer us, but I'm going to support you, and I want you to take your skates on vacation as an adult, as a kid. One of my semi-regulars said he went back to his home rink in Champaign, Illinois. I said, did you say hi to Bob? Because he knew the householders who owned that rink. He's like, I did not. I said, make sure you say hi to Bob, because that's the other thing. Many of us newer rink owners, I consider myself third generation. You know, I'm first, but we're a new breed. When I find out, where are you going? Oh, I know so-and-so.
Right, yeah.
You know, when you were talking New England, Forest Family Fun Center.
Yeah. Forest.
Forest. Yeah, I know you, brother.
Oh, man, that guy.
For those of you who watch this on a regular basis, Forrest and I grew up here. I've known Forrest since the 70s. I pulled him out of a scrape or two, and that's all I'm going to say, Forrest.
Forrest, I'll have you on, but I don't know if I can do 4.5 hours. You know what I mean? Based on how long that dude can go. Oh my God, that guy was hilarious. I enjoyed it.
He's great.
He was great to us when we came up there.
Right.
He took us upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And showed us like this museum of stuff that he had. I mean, he's so on fire, man. He
has been.
Yeah.
He skated half pipe in Germany in the late 70s, early 80s when he was in the Army. He brought videotape back, and we watched him. That was wild. So it's owners like Forrest, who's been successful in Florida, in Massachusetts. What's up, Jeff? Somebody like myself who's been around skating, I will be flat out dead honest with all of you viewers and with you. Flat out dead honest. If you are a hardcore skater, don't buy a rink if you expect to skate all the time.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I'm just saying.
I can
you
imagine
will get frustrated.
I always wondered about that. Right? There's like for people that loved skating, like is it kind of like a peek behind, too much of a peek behind the curtain? Does it? You know what I mean? And really, your passion just has to shift into a different thing, right? It just has to shift into basically supporting other people's passion. With your own kind of, I guess.
My vision of
right.
As we said earlier, the skate family, I want you to have that experience. I want to be part of that. Maybe my part is now in here on the podcast, providing outlets for others. But if you are a hardcore skater and you want to continue skating, rink ownership may not be for you. Oh, you can skate anytime you want. Let me ask, if you are a skater, do you want to come to your rink when no one's in here and skate? You want to skate with what? Energy.
Yeah. I mean, I even as someone that DJ'd outside of rinks for years, I've never even wanted to be a rink DJ because I knew I would not. I've literally said I would be like up in the DJ booth playing crap music, just resenting everyone else skating because I would just rather be on the floor, right? Like, I know that there is Yeah, there's an aspect to it that it probably isn't for me, right? I wouldn't want to see the wizard completely behind the curtain, right?
It's people. I mean, people don't realize. You see a session, whether you're here at your local rink, you see 300 people in a session. People think, oh, you're making money hand over fist.
Right.
Well, you know what? You don't know that we have to pay 4 music licenses a year. You don't know that our heating and air conditioning, like everyone else, has gone up. What's the liability insurance? Now, the more people you have in your building, the higher your liability insurance. All of that. And most of the licensing is based off of your 3 of them, of the 4, are based off of your ticket price. And, not your ticket price, but your admissions, your public session admissions. Right. So the more people you have come in, the higher it is. I mean, you're talking 5 figures.
Yeah, and I will say too, just that before we wrap up, because we're getting about an hour.
And
you
want to skate,
now.
man?
We're not that, but I will say, going back to this thing about selling skates here at the rink. Another thing, if you're a beginner skater, one of the things that I think is really that's good about it is that when you buy, like when you come to the gym and you buy your setup from Jim, he knows what you have. He knows how to fix what you have. He knows how to help you repair, service, all that kind of stuff.
Set it up. That's one of the things we do. Set it up. Yes.
Yeah, the whole 9. I mean, that you're not gonna get by buying some, all-in-one off Amazon. You know what I mean? You're gonna bring that to him for him, and it's only so much you can do. Right. So I mean, if I buy a set of rinks, set of skates here, I got a funny feeling Jim's going to remember it to a certain degree.
Right.
He's going to have worked with it a bunch. Right. And so, I'm always going to have a place I can go to get my my questions answered. Right. All that kind of stuff.
And because of my former life in IT, in that realm, especially help desk, especially high-speed networking and things like that, if you don't know something and you try and BS somebody, they will crucify you.
Yeah.
Now, my influence is here when we took over. Doc Sk8. Doc Sk8 lives 30 minutes from us. We haven't seen him. He's getting a little older. He taught me how to mount low boots. He never liked high boots. But, he taught me how to do that. He taught me his philosophy. And we differ on some of our philosophies. He does those really cool, like him and Nathan. Shout out to Nathan. Nathan's doing some cool stuff.
So
that's
cool. Along with having an amazing time at my first event, being here, I was taken to Doc's place and got to man.
Isn't that a cool place?
What a museum!
Yeah.
Oh my God! It was just, and he's climbing over boxes, trying to and let me tell you about. He had like the first Avenger,
and he helped work on the Avengers.
He had like a what is it called?
Prototype.
A prototype.
Yeah.
And he's. I'm like, my mind's blown.
Right.
Yeah, that was just another aspect of being here at Steel City.
Exactly. I mean, it's things like that where you have, Doc and his philosophy and what he did. So he was big on the derby side, big on the Bont side with the Avenger, short forward. We have philosophical differences on that, and that's okay. Love Doc. Miss him. But without him teaching me some of the mounting and some of the techniques, I don't have a good quality product, as good of a product, or the confidence to be able to do this. And you're bringing in an $800 pair of skates or $1,000 pair of skates, and I'm putting them together. There's a lot of trust there, brother. You know what I mean?
I can tell you, the first time that I ever bought, like myself, a really good boot and a really good plate, and I bought them separately. And I'm just looking at them because I'm going to have to mount it. And I'm like, I don't want to drill this hole, man. I don't want to drill a hole. I mean, it all worked out. But yeah, have someone that knows what they're doing. Have a place that you can go to that knows about what they're selling and knows about what they have.
And won't BS you.
Yes.
If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know, and we'll find out someone who can.
I was going to say, but you will know somebody that does.
Doc.
Yeah.
Just went right on my head. Marshall.
Yeah.
Nathan. Some of the other guys, men and women who are doing Jim Garrett, JG,
and all these
JG
people
Hub.
are so willing to help.
And that's one of the differences now because.
Well, that's what we were talking about. How different it is as far as the information sharing.
Before it was this, and now with online sales and all that, the e-commerce, that opened up a whole lot of different things, which we won't get into the politics of that with rink owners and manufacturers. However, because of that, now we have... I'll be persona non grata, no thank you. But you have now the ability of people like Nathan and Jim Garrett and I don't know if you know this, but Scott Corey.
Yeah, yep.
Scott Corey has skated at this rink. Scott Corey's dad has a good friend that lives in the area. He skated here. There's Scott, Doc, Terry, all of us. That sort of thing. How many people, you skate with, you get a chance to go somewhere, I get a chance to skate with you.
That's a wealth of information in one area that is just off the charts.
Like I said, David Ripp, he's the other one. I mean, the Avenger plate, from what I understand, kind of came out of the Sk8 or the Imperial, if I understand correctly.
I have him explaining it on video.
So, David Ripp, the Imperial was designed for David. So I mean, there's your ties in between docs. So there's a lot of good stuff. So, but as a rink owner, as a skater, I'm not an engineer. I'm a businessman. I'm a skater and a businessman. I'm not an engineer. Doc, Marshall, Jim, Nathan, Wes Wild. Those guys in particular, and I think some of the guys, Dynabolics, those guys, those men and women, their passion is coming out in the engineering. They're giving us some cool things that when I was a teenager, no way. I mean, you'd have Piper, or you had, Lebedas, but you didn't have this plethora of knowledge and the ability to get it out to the public. I asked Nathan on his new plate, which I'm not going to reveal a lot of stuff, because I don't know where he is on that. Like, why? Because I don't skate that particular plate. Not that I'm against it. I just don't understand the following of that plate. It's a laser plate. It's cool.
People love it.
Doesn't do much for me. That's why I asked. So I spent an hour and a half in Nathan's room in Texas going over that. So now I have a much better understanding and more of an appreciation.
And the first and foremost reason is because he just is passionate about it and he wanted to do it and he loves it. And it shows. He is such a craftsman.
Yes. Oh yes.
Shout out Nathan Edwards and his machine. Always amazing work. And one of the nicest, most genuine dudes you'll ever meet.
Yes.
Like, sincerely.
That's one of the things that I was pleasantly surprised when I went to Abilene. I rode with six of us fellow owners. We all rode together. That was so cool because we don't always do that at convention and other things because we're working on...
call you over too, like making all the owners come over. Yeah.
It's an interesting club. I'm proud to be a part of that. I'm proud to be a part of the Roller Skating Association. I'm proud that my wife and I are officers in Section 11, which is Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. I'm the president of the section. My wife Sophie's the secretary. I'm also vice president of the Roller Skating Foundation, which is a part of the RSA. I'm proud of that. But if I wouldn't have learned how to roller skate in 1969 and have done this for the past, this coming November, I start my 56th year as a skater. If my parents had not have done that with me, I'm not here. We're not in this. I don't have a huge family like I have now. You're part of my family. I go out, I see you. I'm seeing more people. I met more family in Texas.
I'm not at Neville for my first event. If you're not, you know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy how.
But that's what we are. Don't get me wrong. I like living indoors. I'm making a living at roller skating. But you're all my family. We're all family, and it's hard. It's tough. But it is a labor of love.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can't think of a better way to end it right there, man. I mean, you said it all. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. You're welcome.
Oh man, I tell you what. So guys, hey, if you haven't been here yet, make sure you at some point come out to Steel City. This next Steel City event is in July.
Last weekend in July.
Last weekend in July. You got to come out to this event. But check out Neville Roller Drome, Neville Island, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is a rink unto itself. It's history. It's fun. It's everything in between. Thank you again, Jim. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
My pleasure.
All right.
It's always. Thank you.
All right, guys.